Meet Takashi, the aspiring med student extraordinaire. This guy's working so hard to get into medical university that even his coffee mug is on a pre-med track. One fine day he's in class, and boom, it's like the universe decided to hit the pause button at 12:15 sharp. Takashi's classmates and the teacher freeze mid-yawn, and our hero here is left thinking, they really went all out for this prank, didn't they? But surprise, it's not a prank. Takashi struts out, expecting hidden cameras, but the entire school is frozen in time. It's like a creepy wax museum, except no one's charging admission. He hops on his bike, realizing he might be the chosen one with the power to defy the laws of time. Move over, Dr. Strange. Takashi is in town. Pedaling to the park, he discovers the water droplets frozen in a fountain. Takashi, being the intellectual giant he is, decides to touch the frozen water and ends up looking like he just lost a water balloon fight. Meanwhile, across the pond, a girl has a grand old time watching him. Turns out, she's a fellow time traveler, and she's got the moves too. Our guy, thinking he's finally found someone to share this time-freezing ordeal, is about to yell across the pond when, bam, he's back in class, dry as a desert. No water balloon fight ever happened. Now Takashi's stuck with the knowledge that time travel is real, but nobody would believe him even if he tattooed it on his forehead. Night falls and Takashi's still brooding about his bizarre day. He decides to ask his dad about his day, hoping for some fatherly advice or at least a dad joke to lighten the mood. But nope, Pops is too busy being disappointed because Takashi flunked the university entrance exam. Father of the year right there. Next day, it's deja vu at the library. This time, Takashi drops books and watches them hang in midair like they've suddenly developed anti-gravity powers. Quick math, 12:15 p.m. equals time freeze o'clock. Off he goes to the park, hunting for the girl who laughed at his water balloon escapade. But she's a no-show. Maybe she's taken up freeze tag in a different dimension. Being the determined detective he is, Takashi spots her school uniform. And voila, she's lounging in the school garden. He wakes her up, and she's all, "Whoa, pervert alert!" Smooth move, Takashi. He spills his lonely heart out, and surprisingly, she agrees to be his partner in crime, or time in this case. Together, they dive into the existential crisis pool, pondering why time has a crush on Pause and why they're the chosen ones. Suddenly, there's a mini crisis. A driver's taking a nap, and his car's about to introduce itself to a bunch of crossing kids. The girl, who introduces herself as Shinomiya, tries to wake Sleeping Beauty, but it's a no-go. Takashi, being the genius that he is, memorizes the driver's number, knowing that no matter what heroics they pull off, time will just hit rewind. After the reset, he dials the snoozer, saving the day and the kids. Shinomiya applauds his quick thinking, and they make a date for tomorrow. The saga continues with our time-traveling lovebirds Takashi and Shinomiya, in a park that seems to be the epicenter of temporal chaos. Shinomiya, the artist extraordinaire, is doodling away like Picasso on steroids. Takashi, being the practical genius, questions the purpose of her sketch because, let's face it, it's all gonna vanish like last night's pizza when time resets. But no, Shinomiya's convinced it's a mind masterpiece. Yeah, sure lady, your mental gallery must be pretty exclusive. They decide to embark on a city bike ride, probably breaking a few traffic rules because, who cares, time's on pause. Somehow, they end up in a field, because, why not? They name this whole time-freezing phenomenon as lost time. Creative, right? Takashi, harboring secret feelings, wants to spend more lost time with Shinomiya, but can't muster the courage to ask her out. Thankfully, Shinomiya takes pity on his social awkwardness and declares they're going on a date the next day. Score 1 for the shy guy. Later, in the realm of domestic drama, Takashi's belting out tunes while cooking up a storm. Enter his father, Seiji, the king of timing. They have a heart-to-heart, and we discover Takashi's mom died when he was 9. But Seiji was too busy perfecting his invisibility cloak to visit her in the hospital. Now, their relationship is as chilly as an iceberg in Antarctica. Thanks, Dad. Fast forward to the grand date at the park. Shinomiya, claiming she's too shy for trampoline shenanigans in public, jumps around like a maniac. Takashi, the ever-smitten dude, watches her with a smile plastered on his face. Then comes the feast he cooked up, but oh no, Shinomiya's on a diet. Takashi, with the wisdom of a philosopher, tells her to eat like there's no tomorrow, because, well, for them, there isn't. At least until the next lost time. They argue about dreams. She calls him lazy. He walks off, accidentally pushes her, and boom, time resets. Talk about a date night to remember. Meanwhile, in a hospital drama subplot, enter Dr. Asami with a sick wife who loves to sketch. She's been unwell for a long time, and the prognosis isn't looking like a fairy tale ending. Asami, the devoted husband, is in the middle of a real-life Grey's Anatomy episode. Back to our star-crossed duo. Takashi's chilling in his room, reading manga like a true intellectual, when time pulls the brakes again. Off to the park he dashes, and there's Shinomiya, waiting like a time-traveling Cinderella. Apologies are exchanged, and they decide to meet at Takashi's place the next day. He spills his life goal, aspiring doctor. Cue a romantic bicycle ride, a field rendezvous, and just when Takashi thinks he's getting a goodnight kiss, bam, time laughs in his face. Meanwhile, in Asami's soap opera, his wife drops the bombshell. She wants out. Hospice living, here she comes. Time for Asami to reevaluate life choices. So, Asami, our medical maestro, tries to reason with his wife about not wanting to be with him anymore. Classic relationship drama. Spoiler alert. She dismisses him like he's trying to sell her a timeshare in Antarctica. Cold. Fast forward to the next day, where Shinomiya, our fashionista in a stunning dress, knocks on Takashi's door for their date. The poor guy is left speechless. Maybe it's the dress. Maybe it's the fact that someone agreed to date him. He welcomes her in, showers her with compliments, and dishes out a feast that could make Gordon Ramsay shed a tear. To top it off, he hands her a pair of fancy chopsticks because nothing says romance like upgraded utensils. They silently devour the food, and Takashi, trying to be smooth, asks Shinomiya about her future plans. She dodges the question like a ninja and starts rambling about some time capsule from her childhood. Spoiler alert, the field where she buried it is now someone's front yard. Time for urban development to ruin their treasure hunt. Post-meal, they indulge in a chocolate cake, and Takashi, on a romantic high, invites her to a fireworks display. But, plot twist, she claims she can't see him anymore. A confused Takashi, desperate for an answer, is left hanging as time resets. Talk about getting ghosted across dimensions. Next day, time freezes again, and Takashi goes on a wild Shinomiya hunt. No luck. He turns into detective desperation and interrogates her classmates, only to discover she's in the hospital battling a deadly disease. Surprise, surprise. It's Wilson's disease, and the survival odds are lower than a Kardashian marriage lasting past its first season. Now, here's where things get real. Shinomiya spills the beans. She needs a liver transplant, and her family's livers are as compatible as oil and water. Desperation kicks in, and Takashi, being the hero he never thought he'd be, volunteers to be the liver knight in shining armor. Shinomiya, practical as ever, brushes it off as a futile endeavor, dropping the bomb that she has a measly 6 months to live. Ouch. Takashi, devastated but determined, heads home to become the Google doctor we all secretly think we are. Turns out Wilson's disease means no chocolate, shrimp, or seaweed. All the gourmet delights he's been serving her. Oops. Armed with newfound knowledge, he rushes back to the hospital, where he stumbles upon Dr. Asami, who, surprise surprise, has been through the same time-traveling circus with his wife. They bond over lost time experiences, and Asami spills the beans. He believes Takashi's liver is the golden ticket to Shinomiya's survival. But oh no, living transplants come with a rulebook thicker than a Harry Potter novel. So, first up in this bureaucratic circus, the donor has to be a relative. Cue the drama. Takashi can't just throw his liver into the ring, because he's not old enough yet. Marriage could solve that, but it's not like they can pop down to Vegas and tie the knot when Takashi is still in his teen angst phase. Plus, the doctor, the ultimate party pooper, claims Shinomiya's on a fast track to becoming a ghost in 6 months. Post his heart-to-heart with Dr. Asami, Takashi takes a stroll down memory lane with Shinomiya's sketchbook. There are drawings of the water fountain where they first laid eyes on each other, the lunchbox he whipped up, and, oh look, there's a sketch of himself. Talk about self-love, literally. Back at the Aiba residence, Takashi decides to interrogate his old man Seiji about the secrets of life and longevity. Turns out Takashi's late mom held on longer than predicted by clinging to the dream of Seiji building a bridge. She croaked before witnessing the grand opening. But hey, the sentiment was there. Cue the forgiveness. Cue the warm, fuzzy feelings, and cut to the next day, where Takashi is on a mission to unearth Shinomiya's buried time capsule. Digging for gold? Nah, digging for memories. After days of backyard archaeology, he strikes gold, the elusive time capsule. Sprinting like his life depends on it, he dashes to the hospital to present his treasure to Shinomiya. She acts all cool, saying he shouldn't have gone all Indiana Jones on her behalf, but you know she's secretly thrilled. Inside the capsule, there are drawings of Shinomiya in various careers: baker, florist, possibly even astronaut. Takashi then drops the liver bombshell. They met for a reason, and then, spoiler alert, he proposes. Amid tears and promises of saving lives, Asami pulls off some behind-the-scenes magic. He sweet-talks the ethics community, convincing them that Takashi's liver donation is the hottest ticket in town. But there's a catch. Seiji has to sign off on this daring escapade. Despite Takashi's persuasive speech about mild discomfort and heroic sacrifices, Seiji's not buying it. No reckless decisions on his watch. The wedding day arrives, and it's not your typical aisle-walking affair. No rings, no problem. Takashi improvises with watches, a hospital-style ceremony, and Asami reminiscing about his own love story. Surprise twist, Seiji, the voice of reason, shows up with signed consent papers, overjoyed that his son is stepping up to the organ donation plate. But, of course, it wouldn't be a tearjerker without a twist. Shinomiya, the bride of the hour, ends up unconscious in the ICU. The drama just can't resist crashing the party. Ah, the grand finale of our time-traveling soap opera. Grab your popcorn for the emotional roller coaster. Takashi stumbles upon a letter from Shinomiya, the heartfelt kind that makes Hallmark cards blush. She's pouring out her feelings, confessing love, and basically making the entire rom-com genre jealous. But, oh, the clock strikes 12:15, and time doesn't hit the snooze button this time. Cue the dramatic gasp. Did Shinomiya kick the bucket? Hold your tears, folks, because the doctor dashes in with the news flash. She's still alive. Well, surviving at least. Fast forward a bit, and voila. Takashi and Shinomiya are alive, kicking and sharing a hospital bed. Forget about post-surgery grogginess. They're holding hands, grateful for their new lease on life. Meanwhile, Asami and his wife are having a seaside therapy session, where he convinces her she's not a burden, but a life-enhancing accessory. In the grand finale scene, Takashi and Shinomiya are casually munching on park lunch, like it's a mundane Tuesday. Oh, did I mention it's her 17th birthday? It's all rainbows, unicorns, and hospital bills paid by the miracle of love. The end. Or is it? Who knows? This story could have more comebacks than your favorite 90s sitcom.